You ever turn on a Spanish soap opera? That's a different level of Spanish. Everybody's fast, cool, and dramatic. El punto de grafía del mundo de tráfico a las apis. That's right, I am a stand-up comedian, and I became a stand-up comedian for one important reason, because I always heard women say when I was growing up that the number one thing they looked for in a man was not money or looks, it was sense of humor. Oh yeah. That's right, that's what women say. What women don't say is it kind of depends on how poor and unattractive the guy with a sense of humor is. Yeah, it turns out there are limits to what a sense of humor will compensate for. Be honest, come on. I mean, sense of humor is awesome, but if the guy's a homeless hunchback, tell the truth, all the knock-knock jokes in the world are not gonna help him on the dance floor. No matter how witty Quasimodo is, he's not swinging into a club. Hi, where are you ladies from? What's up, honey? Hey, you want to dance? You know? And have a bunch of women going, Lori, meet this guy. He's hilarious. And I think he went to Notre Dame. Come on over here and meet him. Looks matter. It's okay to admit that, right? A woman said this to me. What does this mean? She said, Brian, you're cute. You get much better looking as I get to know you. What kind of almost compliment is that? You get better looking as I get to know you sounds like a compliment, but that's kind of like saying, Brian, now that I've gotten to know your personality, your physical flaws don't bother me nearly as much as they once did. Yeah, keep the laughs coming, joke boy. Yeah, that's what that means. But people always ask me, they say, how do you write your jokes? People always say, hey, how do you write your jokes? And I always say, I don't write jokes. You guys do. I talk to people and they say funnier things than I could ever write in a million years. Absolutely true. I was in Cleveland, Ohio at the airport. I asked the information guy. I said, is there a bathroom around here? And the guy goes, you want the closest one? I had never heard that response before. Do I want the closest? Is there any other criteria anyone here looks for in a bathroom? Is anyone in need of a bathroom and looking for ambiance or lighting design or a good layout? Yes, something nearby would be good. I don't want to hit Google Maps right now. Do I want the closest bathroom? What am I going to say? No, do I want the closest? No, man, I kind of like to drag out the discomfort as long as I can, actually. Yeah, you got anything with a cab ride or a connecting flight involved, you know? So many people, they rush, they take the first bathroom that comes along, but not me. I like to shop around. Yeah, it's a big decision. I want to sample 8 or 9 bathrooms before I commit. You ever get a question like that you don't know how to respond to? You ever, like, cops ever pull you over and they go, do you know why I stopped you? I love that one. Do you know why I stopped you? I'm always like, I got some suspicions, man, but yeah. I'm not gonna help you crack this case if that's what you're asking me. What are we, partners now? Is this training day all of a sudden? When did I join the force? I'll tell you what, brother, why don't we split up? I'll follow up on some leads and, you know, we'll meet back here and compare notes tomorrow. We'll wrap this thing up by noon. I don't get it. I love when you have those weird interactions with people and they say funny things. I was at Starbucks and they didn't have coffee brewed. I was like, you don't have, they didn't have, the woman's like, yeah, we're brewing it now. We didn't expect there'd be a run on coffee here at Starbucks. It's not a big seller here. I'm like, you don't have coffee? All right, I'll just have the swordfish then, okay? What are we doing here? If you don't have coffee, do I go to a muffler shop or a nail salon or somebody have a working coffee maker? I love stuff like that, it's funny. I was at a dry cleaner in New York City and they charged me $100 to get a coffee stain out of a leather jacket. True story. A lot of money, right? A lot of money. But they said it's leather, it's tough to clean. So I gave the guy $100, came back in a week, they give me the coat, I unwrap it, the stain is still there. I go, dude, you didn't get the stain out, $100. What's the story? No lie. The guy looks at me and goes, he's so hard. He's so hard. Which is an excuse I didn't even know you could use in business. Isahar, that's genius. There is no defense for Isahar. That was like a Jedi mind trick. I was completely stumped. Isahar, I picked up the coat and I was like, I'm sorry, and I started walking out, right? And then I'm a block away, it suddenly hits me, I go, whoa, 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 you can't say Isahar, right? Everything in like Isahar. I didn't give you $100. I thought it was going to be easy. You know what I mean? Who knew you could just say Isahar and get away with it? I wish somebody told me that in college. That would have come in handy, right? Hey, Brian, you've only got 30 right in your calculus final. Isahar, you know? That's a good point, young man. I never looked at it that way. It is a hard. I'm going to give you a B for original thinking, you know? I'm going to use this. I wish I was better at communicating with people, you know? I wish I learned another language. I took Spanish in school. Did anybody take Spanish in school? You had to take a language when I was in school, right? Remember? We all had to take a language when we were in school. So we all took Spanish. We took Spanish, we studied Spanish, we passed Spanish. What's the one thing we didn't learn? How to speak Spanish, okay? Yeah, that wasn't on the test. That's a whole different skill set. I can pass a Spanish test, so what good is that? Give me a Spanish test right now, get a 98 out of it. You know what I mean? You kick me out of a van in Tijuana, I won't be able to find a bathroom, okay? 4 years of Spanish. You know what I can say in Spanish? El gato tiene hambre. Anyone? The cat is hungry is the only thing I learned. In 4 years, the cat is hungry, el gato tiene. I keep waiting to use that. It has never come up once, okay? Not one time. I'm waiting. One day I'm going to be sitting in a cafe in Peru and a puma attacks me. I'm going to be ready. El gato tiene hambre. Hey, lucky thing you were here, man. You saved our village, okay? Accents are interesting. If you think you know Spanish, by the way, watch a Spanish soap opera. That will sober you up quick. You ever turn on a Spanish soap opera? That's a different level of Spanish. Everybody's fast, cool, and dramatic. El punto de grafía del mundo de tráfico a las país. El filio mío de 5 de mayo. Mucho dinero ocupado. Feliz Navidad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. El pollo loco. Huevos rancheros. Estados Unidos. Café con leche. Pico de gallo. Okay, that is awesome. I love that accent. That is a sexy accent. Certain accents are sexy, right? You know what accent I love? One of the ones the pilots have. Every American pilot has the same accent. If you ever notice, you get on a plane, the guy comes on. Good afternoon, everybody. This is your pilot speaking. I always wonder why they have to say that. Who else is going to grab the microphone in the middle of the flight? Hey, listen, this is Tommy down here in the baggage hold. Hey, listen, there's a gray Samsonite down here. I think there's something moving in there. Somebody get down here fast, because I'm scared, you know? No, the pilots all sound like astronauts. They got that Midwestern thing. We're third in line for takeoff here. We just want to remind everybody that there's no smoking on the plane. That includes a lavatory. Also, we know you have travel options. We appreciate you choosing to include us in your travel plans here today. You got 45 years of flight experience up here in the cockpit, which is good, because if you look out of the plane, you might notice one of the wings has fallen off. Yeah. So we're probably going to get you in a little early today. That's kind of nice. And at a much steeper angle than we anticipated. All right. So for those that survived, we really want to thank you for flying with us. And for those that don't, we hope you enjoy your final destination. Thank you. Thank you. That is a perfect accent for that job. I have an East Coast accent. I'm from New York City. And that would never work as a pilot, because if anyone's familiar with a New York accent, it's not soothing. Trust me, you don't want to get on a plane nervous and have a guy go on, yeah, good afternoon, everybody. How yous doing? Listen up. Quiet down and open your ears, all right? My name is Fast Eddie. I'll be a pilot today, okay? Anybody not happy about that? Join the club on that one. 25 years in this business, you'd think they'd start giving me some of the good routes. Anyways. All right, first off, there's no smoking on a plane. You hear me? There's no smoking in the bathroom either. And you know why that is? It's because the bathroom is actually part of the airplane. Yeah, that seems to come as a big shock to some of you people back there. It's not international waters in the bathroom. The rules apply there, okay? And the mere fact that I have to point that out is the reason I hate this job. Once we get in the air, you look out of the plane, you know what you're gonna see? Water. Yeah, and that's where you're gonna be if anybody tries anything during this flight. I'm serious, people. I am in no mood today. Anybody gets out of line back there, I will not hesitate to turn your weekend getaway into the Poseidon adventure in 3 seconds. And if you look out of the left side of the plane, you know what you're gonna see? The guy we threw out of the right side of the plane. You got 21 weeks of sobriety up here in the cockpit. As we all know, it's one day at a time, people. One day at a time. Also, we appreciate you choosing to fly with us today, even though we all know you had no other options. What are you gonna do, ride a seahorse across the Atlantic? All right, we're fifth in line on the runway here. So I'm gonna see if I can cut one of these guys off, okay? Hang on tight to enjoy the flight. Thank you. I love those guys. They're so, I love them. They're so calm, the pilots, you know. I don't mind the flying experience. It's the boarding process. That drives me, oh yeah, because you get to the gate, you think it's over, right? We're all together. Here we are. And then they separate you by economic class right at the gate. They got to throw that in right at the end. And they do it in this really subtle way with those airline membership clubs with the fancy names. And they get on the microphone, okay, listen up, everyone. We'd like to start the boarding process by first inviting our premium, elite, ultra preferred, maxi select, upper echelon, gold, silver, platinum, super, califragilistic, expiala, diamond, sapphire club members to take their rightful place at the front of the aircraft before we open the barn doors and start the zombie apocalypse of low-level, unwashed social bottom feeders and subhuman riffraff known as general boarding. If you're not an elite member, remember to kneel and bow your heads as our more valued members pass by you. Do not look them in the eye unless you want to help them with their luggage. Might be a rare chance to feel what a real Toomey bag feels like for some of you out there. And then we're going to start our favorite game show, 98 people in 4 overhead bins. That's always fun to watch the luggage rack Hunger Games break out as you totally unimportant people fight amongst yourselves to shove your worthless possessions into our overhead compartments for the entertainment of our first-class passengers. It's such a hoot. Now that we've established where everyone stands, now that you're all divided, let's all fly united! Thank you. I like traveling. I was in England